You are watching MMT Sunday Night Spectacular live from the City of Angels. Your host here, Eric Weber. Thanks for being here. Like, subscribe if you've not done so already. You know what the top story is. Are you surprised? Of course you're not. It's been a month straight. Barbie has won 4 straight weekends in a row, down just 36% in its fourth weekend. Here's what's happening with the film. It is getting repeat business, and then we're also getting those last few people that said, I don't need to see it. They're going, okay, fine, I'll go see Barbie now a month down the road. That's why these holds are still amazing. I mean, under 40% week after week for this film that's at $526 million domestic. It is going to be Warner Brothers' biggest domestic film of all time later this week, likely Tuesday. What film did you watch this morning breaking box office? You know what film it is about ready to take down. Yes, you said it. The Dark Knight goes down on Tuesday. How things are shaping up right now, Barbie will be WB's #1 stateside film all time. Right now, you're looking at $1.2 billion worldwide. That is 25th all time. Who has not seen this movie at this point? Want to mention this. Remember Maverick. Maverick has over 700 million domestic. So although, 526 is really strong, we're still almost $200 million less on Barbie than on Maverick. You tell me why. I can tell you why quickly, and then we'll go to some comments. Producer Nate with us here tonight. Here's the reason. Well, first of all, as you know, Maverick was an older skewing film. What do older people tend to do? Wait to see a movie. Young people run out to see Barbie. They want to be part of the Barbenheimer phenomenon. So what that happened there is everybody ran out, and now we have, even though we're still doing really solid numbers, don't get me wrong, Maverick was able to keep doubling down like every week. It was down like 20% because the old folk were coming. Now, if the old folks start to come to see Barbie, then we're talking about some big time, even though, good God, we're at 1.2 billion. Where we're going to end up at? Like 1.4, 1.5? You come in the comments and tell me. Producer Nate, you got something about Barbie? Hit me right now. Otherwise, we're going to roll right into Oppenheimer. By the way, if you want to get in, guaranteed tonight, I've got so much to talk about. It is the Sunday evening spectacular. You need to come in with the super chat. I don't care if it's for a diet due for me. $1.99 will get me out the door with a super big gulp at 7-Eleven. I'm good with that. Beantown Brandon. Seen Barbie for my ninth time. Going to the 10th time. Good God, you're like encroaching my numbers on Drive. I've watched Drive like 25 times. It's absurd. I just put it on the background. You guys have a film like that you watch in the background because it just makes you peaceful? It's comfort food. Comfort film. It's one of my favorites of all time. I just love the vibe. It's LA. All right, let's go to Oppenheimer. I'm going to pull up the email directly from Universal, as we are now looking at $650 million worldwide on this film. And one of the amazing parts of this is $134 million in IMAX cash. If you missed the breaking box office show this morning, we talked about that. We're going to go through these things quickly. Those of you who watched that show, we're going to go a little more in depth and then, of course, open the scope up with all kinds of stuff here shortly. But when you look at this film, you're looking at the 5th highest grossing Nolan film of all time. It took out Dunkirk. Next up is Interstellar, still about $100 million. It'll get there for sure. Interstellar will fall, and then we might start to taper off. Both these films are benefiting by nothing new in the marketplace that matters. I mean, Demeter, it bombed. We'll talk about it in a minute. We have the whack take. Actually, we're going to call it the terrible take. And get ready for one of the worst tweets ever written. That's in minutes. But back to Oppenheimer. You have a situation now where the IMAX is killing. They've extended it already. I know the IMAX 70 millimeter still selling out here a month in. And the thing about Oppenheimer, it does lend itself to multiple viewings. I've seen it 3 times. Why? Because even if you don't go for the story, you go for the Nolan filmmaking. You go for the Ludwig Göransson score. You go for the elements, the tech precision on Oppenheimer. It's not your average film because Nolan is not obviously an average filmmaker, one of the best in the business, if not the best at technical filmmaking. I also want to mention this as we get ready to roll into Demeter. This week's going to be slow again because we have another Universal film that I think is going to do better than people expect. It's Strays, but it's not a huge film. It's going to do better than Demeter because, look, it bombed at $6.5 million. That is embarrassing. We had this thing at $9 million. I missed by $2.5 million. That sounds good on paper until you realize percentage-wise, I missed by like 33% on this film. That's terrible. I apologize for missing how big of a bomb Demeter would be. But are you ready for a terrible take? Here it comes right now. Get ready. I don't know if you guys are prepared for what I'm about ready to show you because it is one of the worst tweets ever written. You guys ready? Read along with me. I'm going to zoom in. Here we go. From Jessica Ritchie, who's a writer for Ebert Voices. The last voyage that the Demeter is doing poorly is why I still can't wrap my head around Barbenheimer leaping online containment and becoming something people who leave the house to go to the movies do. Hold on. Are you guys ready to do this? Jessica here doesn't get how people didn't fly out of their houses to go see another Dracula movie, Alien on a boat, really fucking boring. And they came out to see Barbenheimer. You know, one iconic doll movie with A-list stars, and then the other half of the Heimer by Christopher Nolan. The timeline's been full of Demeter jokes, and maybe two folks went to see it too. Jessica, you know what your problem is? Let me help you out. You are a film Twitter dweeb. We hammered dweebs on Thursday. We're going to do it again tonight. The problem with film Twitter is they don't have lives outside of film. When you don't have a life, as Jessica clearly demonstrates here, you have no idea what the real world is like and what films appeal to normal people. And Demeter doesn't do that. So Jessica Ritchie, you are the recipient of the first ever MMT Terrible Takes. Your nominees, as always, hit me on Twitter or in the comments. We can get more of those. Always a good time. Let's do this. I'm going to do that in 1 second. Thank you, Producer Nate. I see another super chat. Bring it up. It's fine. As long as it goes with what we're talking about, let's do it. I'm going to mention we're going to roll right into the shill of the week because the shill of the week is Demeter 2. We have two terrible takes on Demeter. Let's go ahead. Bring in the super chat, and we'll do it. I see it. Bring it. Let's go. So happy for Barbie and Warner Brothers. Can't wait for people to see Blue Beetle this weekend. Very good movie. Beantown Brandon, I can't wait. Warner Brothers won't show it to me. They don't want me to see it. Well, I mean, I haven't really reached out, but they didn't reach out to me either. I have thoughts about that. I'll talk about shortly. Stay put for Blue Beetle. I think that film's in big trouble. I think you guys all know that. Even if it's good, it's in big trouble. Okay, here it is. You guys ready? The shill of the week incoming. This is the first time we have had a big-time director as our shill of the week. And it's going to make a lot of sense to you. When I give you this, you're going to get it. No one else, by the way, please now get the thumb ready to go with the likes. No other show, I don't care what you watch, including Grace Randolph, the knower of all things. She doesn't have this take because she doesn't get it like we do here at MMT. Look who's our shill of the week. It is Guillermo del Toro. Are you ready for why? He says he enjoyed Last Voyage of the Demeter so much. It's gorgeous, it's lavish, and savage. First off, that is really short. That's the kind of thing you say when your kid does a play at school and the kid wasn't that good. You were amazing. I really enjoyed it, and you had so much energy. And in your head, you're like, God, that was terrible. I feel so bad for my kid. He's bad. Okay, here's why GDT is the show of the week. Not just because it's short and the point. Help me out here, guys. Someone out here knows why this is pure shieldom. I'll help you out. Do you guys know what film that GDT basically ghost directed? The last film by the director of the Demeter, Scary Stories in the Dark. Del Toro basically ghost directed that, right? He was right there. He's 100% friend. Not just friends, Whiplash. He was the executive producer of Scary Stories in the Dark. When I went to see it here in LA, Del Toro came out and he was like, hey, he did this whole introduction. He goes, and there's the director over there. Everybody, give him a round of applause. And then he kept talking. Del Toro loves to talk, kind of like someone you're watching right now, but he really does. But can you ever trust a director in this town to say something negative? When has he ever, has Del Toro ever said? No, of course he hasn't. Because in this town, you can't. You have to be like, everyone's fantastic. You're all so great, especially my good buddy who let me direct this film, even though he took credit, but I really directed it. GDT, you are our shill of the week. I hope that gets to him because he can't argue with that. Whether he believes it or not about Demeter, it doesn't matter. What I just said makes him, he can't issue a comment. You guys, I can't comment on a great friend like Menzel, good friend. If I say something positive about him, you guys are going to say, wait a second, he's your friend, right? That's natural. You should say that. As a journalist, you want to have some kind of distance from it that allows you to be objective about these things. Del Toro, you're definitely a director. You're amazing. Of course, I love Nightmare Alley. And you talk about just his last film. Huge fan of that film. In addition to everything else, going back to Pan's Labyrinth for me, the first real introduction to Del Toro for me at the time, and ever since, the guy just has world building down, production design. That's his shit, but not a critic. Jonathan Haley, probably not getting invited to the next GDT movie screenings either. It's fine. I mean, at this point, guys, they're all going away. It's okay because, again, if it means that I have to hold back about a film because if I say something negative, then you can't come, then I'm not going to go. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. GDT got slammed. He slammed his keyboard if he's watching right now. Meg YouTube, welcome back. I'm sorry, but it's true. I love GDT, but he's not a good critic. All right, here we go. Gran Turismo coming out soon. Sony pushed this thing to the 25th. They did some screenings this weekend in Dolby, I know, here at Burbank to get the word of mouth. This is a film that's going to build word of mouth really well because it's strong. It's at 10.7 million overseas. It opened, and the two biggest markets, France and the UK. This is going to be and can be a surprise overachiever for Sony because they gave it space to get away from Barbenheimer. And then they also are doing a really nice job of doing the word of mouth, getting that information out so that you go to see it. I have 2 streams about Gran Turismo. Watch either. They give me thoughts that you need on the film. Go see it. You're going to love it. It's very strong for what it is. Remember, every review is based against what the film is trying to do. We are not reviewing Gran Turismo against Nightmare Alley, against Demeter, against Beau is Afraid. Oh, good God. No, we are reviewing the film against what it's trying to do. Speaking of a film that does it really well, entertaining, is Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. It is very good. And it's holding well. It's now at 73 million stateside. Let me pull up the world box office right now, and you guys can see the chart. And just to show you how big movies are in China, the number 1 film is No More Bets. It opened to it didn't even open. This is like weekend number, what is this, like 3 over in China? And it's already at $231 million, No More Bets. Barbie, number 2 this weekend worldwide, and now it's up to, as I said, 1.2 million. This is the one I'm going to focus on here. Meg 2. Why did we get a Meg 2? Why are we going to get a Meg 3? Because we are looking at insane numbers from China. When you do that, you have $90 million in China. The worldwide numbers on this is 256 million total. How much of that's from overseas? 202. So you are talking about 1/5 of the money for Meg 2 is from the United States. 1/5. Normally it's 1-to-1, if maybe 1-to-2, not 1-to-5. That's why Meg 2 got made, and that's why Pacific Rim got made. Remember, didn't do that well in the States, and then we got a Pacific Rim 2 because of the China money. So when you get, that's not racist, by the way. I almost sounded like Trump there. The China money. But here's the, oh God, Weber just said Trump. Everyone's heads blow up. So that's insane. 5-to-1 is absolutely unheard of, and that's why we're going to get another one. What a shame, because the movie sucks. Meg 2 is so boring. It's almost as, you know what? It's just terrible for what it should be. Demeter is what it is. It's not great. I don't think it's terrible, but it's also not great. But this film is terrible for what it should have been. There's no Meg. Why are you making a movie without a Meg? What are you doing? Please don't make another one. Even if this makes $10 billion, please do not subject us to another Meg with Jason Statham collecting a paycheck going, my God, I'm bored, but I'll take the money. Dolce, welcome back. Prediction for Blue Beetle being a Latino superhero film. Its pre-sale numbers are being undercounted. I think most Latino families buy tickets at a movie theater, so you won't know till then. True. It will be interesting to see what happens with the film. I do want to bring this in. This is, as we talked about Blue Beetle a little bit ago, let's dial down and really drill down on this. Here's something I want to talk about. It's going to be like we always do here, something that's going to be a little bit touchy. So I need you guys to understand that what I'm going to say is going to be strong. But I also believe that other people think the same thing. So by the way, that doesn't mean, well, you know, if you spew white supremacist views, other people, no, stop. I'm just telling you, came to my inbox here from Twitter reply from Mystery. I love how every critic is spewing Latino representation for Blue Beetle as if Latinos care. I'm Latino here, by the way, could care less, but I cringe every time I see it. Like, why does that even be mentioned? Okay, here, let's talk about this. And Dolce, come back in with a comment. I welcome it. Here's how I evaluate films. I will never evaluate a film higher or lower based on representation, based on the skin color of the director, the sex of the director. None of that matters, you guys. And you know I'm right. Give me a thumbs up because I'm 100% right. There's too many critics out there who start to give bonus points for things like representation, for things like female director, for things like whatever. We don't do that shit. I don't even care what the story's about. The story could be about, it doesn't matter. It's about the quality of the film, the expertise of the direction, of the screenplay, of the elements, of the acting, all of that. None of the representation, 0%. It's like literally if you're listing things, it's the last thing on the list. Blue Beetle will be a success for me, whether it's entertaining and well done, even if we've seen the story a billion times before. If it's that, it'll be good. It will not get even a 0.1% higher or lower because it is the first Latino superhero. It'll get 0.0% added or subtracted because of that. And that's what makes me reliable. That's what makes me objective and makes me one of the best objective film evaluators on planet Earth. I want to mention this because here's the truth. I don't talk about this enough. And I'm going to tell you guys something. I'd pull it up, but I'd probably show the name. I got a direct message this week from a producer of a film that I love. And the producer said in the DM, I just want you to know, Eric, that I love your analysis, your no holds bars takes. That is cool. And I said, that's why we do this show. It's awesome to get that stuff, but I know the space we're operating in, and it's not where very many others are. I would argue there's almost none in this space. It's called objectivity and being fair with the reviews. And I will be so whenever I see Blue Beetle. If I see it earlier than Thursday, we'll do like a reaction. Otherwise, Thursday night will be our Blue Beetle reaction stream and the preview box office show. Any comments, Producer Nate? Any super chats? Let's do it before we move on to the next thing. Gone Girl, I'm Latino, and I don't care about representation. I want Blue Beetle to be good as a movie. Bingo. I get it. Listen, I know I'm a white guy. Oh, my God. I don't secretly root for films directed by white directors or featuring a white actor. Chris Hemsworth's in this, therefore I'm excited. I understand it's different. I get it. But ultimately, what have we said 10 zillion times on the channel? Do we get to pick the color of our skin when we enter the world? The answer, help me out, is no. So why are we making such a big deal about it? We are all human beings, okay? Ultimately, it's like a car. A car has an engine. We have a soul. Ultimately, you break it down to the very basics. That's what it is. We're all human beings. I'm not going to judge people higher or lower based on the color of their skin. Give me a freaking break. Mega YouTube, we can do all the Blue Beetle no matter what the color of her skin. Exactly. It's all that matters. And if I say the movie sucks, I'm not going to. Here's the difference. Here's the thing that I love. In the space I'm in, I say things that normally people would come after, and they don't even bother now. Because what are you going to say to me if I do hammer Blue Beetle? Are you going to tell me? What are you going to say? Because I'm going to laugh at you. I'm going to say you are pathetic. If you're coming at me saying I didn't like the film because it's Latino, or you didn't give it enough bonus points. No, I didn't, and I will proudly say that. I will advertise that on a billboard. 0 bonus points for representation. 0. It doesn't matter. I'm tired of talking about it. Make a good film. That's it. Get ready. Here comes Rachel Zegler. Did you guys see this? Did you see here? Okay, I'm going to play you the soundbite. If you haven't heard it, this is her talking about Snow White. Also talking about just in general, just being Rachel Zegler. You guys ready? Hold on. Let me get the volume up and here me save it. And here we go. Rachel Zegler's about ready to enter. All right, hold on.
The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There is a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time. Cast a guy.
Okay. I get it. She technically has a point. It is a guy who stalked her. I'm just saying, if you go out to that, you want to go out there, go there. It's fine. Let's just keep listening, because that's not what the full point of what I'm going to say here in a second is.
The movie, Andrew Burnap, great dude. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
If I'm going to stand there 18 hours
okay, now it's on something else.
Of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
Okay, here's the thing. This is going to sound weird coming from me, because God knows that I am mega opinionated and just absolutely go off. The difference is I am not in charge of $100 million plus film in Snow White. Rachel Zegler, if I were her agent, I would say, listen, here's what I want you to do. I want you, remember we talk about modulation all the time? I want you to take what you're saying from a 10 to an 8. I want you to go and put a little more humor on it. I want you to just smooth things out a little bit. She's brash. So am I. But again, I'm not in charge of a Disney movie at $100 million, probably $200 million plus. You don't want to piss off the anti-woke crowd. They're already waiting for you with pitchforks. Don't do it, Rachel. Don't stop talking.
I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again. Like, I'm being so serious. I watched it once and then I went on the ride in Disney World, which was called Snow White's Scary Adventures.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like something a little kid would like. Was terrified of it. Never revisited Snow White again. So I watched it for the first time in probably 16, 17 years when I was doing this film. It's no longer 1937.
Wait, one more.
And we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to.
By the way, did you see how Gal jumps in there? Gal jumps in is like, listen, you're a little harsh here. I'm going to just give you a smile, and I'm going to be beautiful like I am. Gal Gadot's like, I'm going to take over this interview. Let's just another second. We'll get into stuff.
We say for the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
Exactly. Female empowerment. Let's go. That's what the anti-woke guys are like. Oh my god! I'm just gonna say, listen, it goes like this. Meg YouTube, thank you for the super chat. Snow White DOA Zegler's unlikable. She can be likable. She needs to soften it up. You guys would tell me that, but again, I'm running a YouTube show. I'm gonna be like that. I'm not in charge of a movie and hundreds of millions of dollars. You can't do it the same way. She's been around for like no time either. the reality is, just like anything, the longer you're in a certain space, you get away with more. When you first come in, you have to be on your P's and Q's. Go back and watch the stream. Go back and watch some of those early streams. I'm not as aggressive. That said, I'm also not like, shrinking flower. I'm not Zach Pope. So it's never been that. But Zegler needs to soften the edges. Aaliyah, when the WGA strike ends, Greta has to take over for the Snow White PR. Otherwise, the movie's in trouble. Zegler's so unprofessional. Yeah, I mean, that's what we're saying, right? Unprofessional. And I think, ultimately, as Meg YouTube said, unlikable, which is not a good thing in Hollywood. Because you got to remember, you're trying to sell tickets, right? So, yeah. If I'm her boss, if I'm at Disney, if I'm her agent at CAA or William Morris, wherever she's with, one of the big agents, I'm going to tell her, Rachel, and this is the problem. Maybe she has a huge ego and doesn't want to hear it, but it doesn't matter. You have to be able to talk to these people and say, listen, we got to settle you. We got to just tone you down, just down a little bit. Okay. I know you think you're being entertaining and all this, but I would just dial you back. You guys would tell me that. And I would say, yeah, you're right, but screw it. It's my channel. I don't care. She's in charge of a shit ton of cash. She can't do the same thing I can do and come on here and just rail and do whatever the hell I want. I don't care. She needs to care. She better care because that's her next paycheck. My next paycheck coming from super chats. So whatever. So tiny bit. Tiny. Gal Gadot saves. Listen, I didn't see it. I didn't see that movie. What's RZ? What's the name of the movie? I didn't watch it. I'm not watching a Netflix movie unless I have to. I watched that terrible Ghosted. I watched the Jennifer Lopez movie. I'm not watching another one of those. Those Netflix movies are embarrassing. They're not even movies. I've said that forever, and someone got a major traction the other day, 10 billion likes, saying, why do they make this movie? We said this on this channel years ago. Stop watching MMT and stealing shit and using it for your own purposes. That's what this channel does. We are 7 years ahead of everybody else, even though we haven't been around. Trust me, what's being said tonight, 7 years from now in 2030, it'll all come true. I'm pretty sure Disney will have a word. She's dialed back by the time the film's out. David, probably, but you got to do it now because now everyone's raging. Forbes did a whole article. Where is it? Let me find it. Forbes did a whole article about, the woke crowd, the anti-woke crowd is angry about Snow White. I don't have it in front of me, but I'm going to show you this. Here's Snow White. It comes out in 2024, and let's look. It doesn't have the budget yet, but it's got to be at least 150 because you look at all of these live-action remakes are at least 200 or so. Let's say 150 at the low end. So right now it's got to make at least 300 plus 350 to be profitable, and now she's already sandbagging it. She's going to destroy the film because she can't just stop talking or just become less abrasive. Again, coming from me, I get it. Trust me, you all laugh and going, shit, says the dude, but I don't work for Disney. Do you think I could work for Disney doing this shit? Do you think for a second that I could work for a studio doing this show? Hey, even Variety, hey, we like MMT. Come on and just do what no, because I'd piss everybody off and they'd say all the sponsors quit and you can't be a part of the show. That's because that's what I do. Sorry, is what it is. That's why I do my own thing. Snow White is doomed outright from the start from race changing. Yeah, there's the race. There's all kinds of here's it. Here, let's just leave it like this. I'm going to move on because I am so bored by this film. It's already over. Russell Wilson. It's already over. It's over. Who wants to see another Snow White movie? Remember the last one with Kristen Stewart back in 2012, 13? I didn't even see it. The Huntsman. Why are they remaking Snow White? There's no reason. Disney, I get it. Let's make another live action, but I would have left it alone. There's the problem. Forget Rachel Zegler for a minute. Disney, stop greenlighting this shit. What are you doing, man? You just greenlit Haunted Mansion. It's at 76 million worldwide. The budget's 150. That means it's going to lose at least 75, more like 100 plus million. And who said let's make this movie? Did you guys see Haunted Mansion? What a bore. I can't believe they spent 150 million on that movie. I can't believe it. What? And then you go back to look at Indiana Jones, 300 million. What? Who is saying, okay, let's do this. Let's greenlight these movies. Disney, stop doing that shit. I will ride my bike down on Buena Vista. I'll walk. Either way. I will go into the room. You guys know what I'll do. I'll go in and say, who's the one who greenlit Snow White? We already did this. It's Les Grossman's arrived. You You in the back, you put $175 million budget on Snow White? How long you been here? How many years? 5 years? What other films did you greenlight? This is me in the room. Holy shit. How do you still have a job? Well, I can help you. Stop. I'm going to stop. You're out of here and you're walking. Get your stuff. Security's got 10 minutes. You're off the lot. 10 minutes max. Otherwise, we'll put the rest of your desk in a box and you can collect it at the door on the gate. You're going to be outside on the street with the picketers. I'm sorry that sounds brutal, but that's what needs to happen with some of these people. I cannot believe some of these people have a job. I don't know. And here, can I say something? This is going to be very, very, trust me, man, we're going to go far here in a second. And I'm going to do it because I don't give a shit. Are we at a point now where we have people in positions in Hollywood that don't warrant the job? I'm not going to say anything more than that because you guys know what it's all about. It is merit. I am never, and I mean ever for the remainder of time, going to hire someone based on the color of their skin, white or black. None of them are getting hired by that. I'm going to go by, are they talented at what I'm asking them to do in that role? If the answer is yes, you're hired. We're not going to care about skin. If that's what's happening, this explains why the Hollywood's a mess. Because you can't do that. You hire the funniest person, the most talented person, the best director, the best actor for the role, whoever that is. We do not do quotas. It's so wrong. Quotas are so fucking wrong. We don't do that. I don't know where that even came from. You hire the best person. There's no argument to what I'm saying. There's no argument that you can put forth that will quash what I just said. Nothing. Because I'm always going to hire the best person, whoever that is, the funniest writer. That is what we're going to do. Shooksy. I mean, yes. Are you skinless? Because truthfully, then you'd be a skeleton and we wouldn't even know. So no one could say you hired the X. We'd be like, you're a skeleton. We don't even know what the color of the skin is because no one should care. I told you guys, give me a bunch of resumes. I don't want to see the names. I'm going to look at the qualifications. I'm going to bring them in to interview. And I would even do, like, what's the dating show where they don't get to see the other person? The blind, the Love is Blind? I don't watch it. I'm just telling you, I think that was the goal. That would be me in the interview. I'd be facing the other way, and the person would be behind me, and I'd be asking questions. And then at the end, I'd say, thank you so much. They'd leave. I wouldn't even want to, I swear to God, I wouldn't even want to know what they look like. I'd be like, I really like those answers by that person because it is a person you're hiring. You're not hiring the color of the skin. What the hell are we doing? It makes no sense. Zero. Okay, let's have some fun. That we went hard. Let's smooth it out. Let's smooth it out like Rachel Zegler needs to. Here we go. It's 1987. I was in Columbus, Ohio. I was going to movies at the time, and the question is, which of these movies are you going to see? Here comes the Marquee with the Radio Shack. This is the Chatsworth Mall. I assume out here in L.A., Chatsworth. Radio Shack at the Valley Fourplex. It's got to be Chatsworth because that's the Valley. Here we go. Number one, come in and vote. You have Lost Boys. You have RoboCop, Predator, and Full Metal Jacket. I didn't even need to know it's 87, so obvious. Okay. Which one do you guys think I'm going to? I just saw it when AMC had it over the weekend a few months ago. I was so happy in that movie. I was like, oh, life's so great. I love this movie, and the soundtrack is one of the greatest of all time. I had the CD, and I played it from track 1 to track 9. The fact that I know there's 9 tracks tell you how many times I listened to that CD, including Cry Little Sister and Echo and the Bunnymen's remake of People Are Strange, Jimmy Barnes and In Excess, Good Times. You know what I'm going to see. I'm going to see the Lost Boys, y'all. You kidding me? Oh, what a year. Those of you who weren't alive at that time, I'm sorry. That's all I got to say. You could see all of them. Of course you'd see all of them, right? You'd see all those films. That's look at that slate, right? Something for everyone. I mean, they're all, I will say, they're all white dude movies. Oh my God. I never even thought of that till right now because I was just telling you guys, like, they're all white dude movies. Like, who cares? They're movies. Yeah, that's a hell of a slate. Are you kidding me? You had the cassette. That's pretty badass. I can even tell you what, it was Warner Brothers. It was actually Elektra, right? And no, Atlantic. It was Atlantic. Atlantic. And you know the best part about cassettes back then, and you know this, they were clear. Everyone give me a thumbs up. When you got the cassette and it was the clear plastic, because for so long they were like the, like skin. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't say skin. The olive tape, whatever you want to. And now it was clear. Oh my God, it's a clear cassette. Holy shit. Saxophone guy was Jack. Can we just look at him real quick? I'm going to get in trouble because it might be they're going to come after me and say that's a copyright thing. Okay, hold on. I'll just show a picture. I can do that. I won't show the video because then Warner Brothers will say, yeah, look how big my boy was. Look at it. He was almost as big as me. Oh, it's so good. Listen, but seriously, real quickly, I'm going to do this because screw you guys. I want to do it, and I'm going to do it, and you can't stop me from doing it. I am going to now because you guys asked for it. I know you did, so I'm going to tell you right now. Right now, you guys play along. We still have a lot of show to go, but I want to do it because I'm the only guy who can do this, and you know it, and I'm going here right now, everybody. Who has the better chest? Saxophone guy from Lost Boys or me? Today, going to play volleyball, beach volleyball. I played well today. I'm very happy with myself. Who has the better chest? Saxophone guy or me? Come on, guys. Give me some love. I mean, it's not bad. My chest is actually like the best part of my body. I got a lot. I can't lie about that. My legs aren't very big. Sorry. They're not like I try. Screw you, Gone Girl. Screw you. Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Sax guy. This guy's is not even close. What are you talking about? You know what he does? Here, real quick, and I'm not going to stay on this all night. Hold on. I can't. I don't have another picture. I can't do it. You guys, my chest is better than his. Screw you guys. All of you who are saying him. Draw? Maybe. I don't know, man. I feel like I got him. I really do. I feel like I got him. Look at that, guys. One more time. Come on. I'm at least there. Thank you, Grace. I'm at least in the conversation, aren't I? Shucksy. Okay, I'm biased. Whatever. Who cares? By the way, if we get to 10,000 subs, I might do the show shirtless. 10. I'm not making it 5. I'm not making it 3. It's 10. 10,000. If we get to 100,000 subs, I'll do the show naked. I can't do it. I will be naked in the chair. 100,000. That's it. Not a thing less. A shirtless at 10. All right. I told you to be fast. All right, let's go and let's look at my next topic tonight. Give some love to Producer Nate, by the way. Producer Nate's hitting all the notes here for me tonight. This is going to be fun. You guys get ready for the comments. This is going to be a big one. Here we go. This is, wow. When I read this, I said, wow, someone is not aware of how her film is viewed. It is The Marvels. Director Nia DaCosta, who, by the way, kicked ass in Candyman. Now, I know it got a lot of trouble. People say, you said Jordan Peele's Candyman. Well, Jordan Peele wrote it clearly, and he had a major influence on the look and feel of the film. But yes, Nia DaCosta directed it. In concert, the two of them delivered a really cool film. I like the Candyman remake a lot. Okay, now, let's go down here and read her quote about The Marvels. This is where it's like, wait, what? Okay, so first off, she says she thinks superhero fatigue absolutely exists. Hold on, let me get the right thing. And she also says, as she continues, the biggest difference from the other MCU movies to date is that it's really wacky and silly. What has Nia DaCosta just told the universe when she says, one more time, the biggest difference from other MCU movies to date is that it's really wacky and silly? Nia just told you she didn't bother watching Ant-Man 3 or Thor Love and Thunder. Because those two films, and trust me, I'm plenty aware because you all still ride me about that shit, they're full of humor. They're goof central. And you're going to tell me that the difference between your film and those films that are exactly wacky and silly is that it's wacky and silly? Nia, What are we doing here? I can't believe there wasn't a publicist there at the moment that she said that, because there always is. She did the interview with Total Film. This is from Hollywood Reporter, but it was apparently in Total Film. There should have been a publicist on the line or in the room, because let me tell you what I will do. This is what I do. I am absolutely for hire. I will sit with a star. I will sit with the director. And as soon as I heard a soundbite like that, I'd say, wait. Real quickly, Nia, Ant-Man 3 and Thor Love and Thunder are like really wacky and silly. So maybe it's like different wacky silly. Like, we've done wacky silly, but this is like all female wacky silly. At least it's a better quote, because I would have stopped the interview and said, can we strike that from the record? Because Nia just told the world she hasn't watched Thor or Ant-Man 3. That's not good. Are you guys excited to see the Marvels? Because I'm not. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you guys. Why would I? Doesn't mean I won't like it if I see it. I'm just going to tell you I haven't really, I mean, especially as you know, that trailer, my God. The Beastie Boys and then the same old shit over and over. Look, we're going to see this week in Blue Beetle. Oh, I'm a superhero. Oh, my God. What do my powers do? I'm so scared, but yet so amazed by what I can do. Same shit. I'm so tired of it. We just saw it in Black Panther 2 with Ironheart. That was bad. God, that was bad. I keep going back to that. I tell you over and over. Who was the actress in that? They totally miscast that. You're like, she's in college. I'm like, this girl's 30. How is she 18? Has she been in college for 10 years? Like, you can't have an actress who doesn't look like she's in college. It's like going back to 90210 when Jason Priestley and Luke Perry were like 40. They were supposed to be 17. She didn't look that old, but she definitely looks 30. And I'm like watching going, is she like a professor in college at MIT, or is she actually, you can't miss. By the way, it has nothing to do with race. Pick another Ironheart, not one that looks like she's 30. You guys know you saw that. No one else says this shit. Why am I the only person who sees these things when I watch Black Panther 2? Why am I the only one who sees it? And the rest of y'all like, I didn't see that shit. Well, oh, you're right. She looked old. Stop doing this. I will mansplain as much as I want. You know what I'll do? I will people-splain. That's what I do. People-splain. By the way, producer Nate rolled, so I'm all by myself. Come in with Super Chat. We still have about 20 minutes. I got more stuff to talk about, but I'm open to whatever you want to do. Tom, Marvel fans don't want wacky and silly. We know that, God. Thor 3 and 4, 100%. Brie Larson versus Rachel Zegler. My God. Candyman was revenge fantasy, not a horror film. Goober, certainly the end was, I think, I like the execution of the end, but trust me when I say this, I get how that can be troubling. The end of that film when you have the slaughtering of policemen. Okay, I'm with you. I get that. Trust me. I had the same problem with Kick-Ass 2. Remember, I think Jim Carrey one of them kills a whole bunch of cops. I'm like, what the hell? I'm not big on that. Okay? You might not like the police, but I got news for you. Who's going to save you if the police don't come? Yeah, you're fucked. You got to have the police. Even if sometimes there's a bad one. You don't want no police. You and I might not be a problem, but there's people that are a problem. Trust me. I see it all the time. Did I tell you this story? I was here in LA. Listen to this story. This is no joke. This happened. I didn't even bring this story up. It happened a few months ago. This is LA now. I went into, if you guys don't know, I go to 7-Eleven all the time because I love my big gulp. Like, I have to have a big gulp every day, whether it's Diet Coke or Diet Mountain Dew. I prefer the latter, but I'll take the former. So I go into the 7-Eleven on Olympic and La Cienega, I believe, like right in the middle of a nice area, like tangential Beverly Hills. And I get out of my car and I'm turning the corner to go into 7-Eleven. And there's this dude standing right in front of me. And he's like this. Look, he looks like he's straight out of Day of the Dead. He's got bulging eyes. He's looking at me like he's going to rip my skin off. And I looked at him. It was one of those things that happens in life where you just like react. I looked at him like, what's up, dude? Like, I looked at him like, if you make a move, I'm going to do some shit you didn't expect. And he looked at me and I kept walking. If I would have been made a move, that dude would have jumped the shit out of me. I went into the 7-Eleven to get my drink shaking. And the guy at the counter was like, did you just see that guy? I go, hell yeah. I just came face to face with him. He goes, what? I go, yeah. He goes, that guy was whack. And that's what LA is now. There's people like that everywhere. Truth be told, and listen, I understand people have tough circumstances in life. Things happen. But man, you got to watch your ass here in this town. You got to literally be looking like this. I wasn't that day. I just turned the corner to get my big gulp. I'm like, oh, shit. I might be dead. No joke. I literally saw my life flash in front of my eyes. I looked at him like, you don't want to do this shit. I had like a tight shirt on, so that helped. See, this is why going to the gym matters. I'm not even kidding you. Think about this. People size you up physically, right? So when I turned the corner and I got like this tight kid on, right? Tight. And he looked at me and he just went, I don't know about this guy. I'm like, you damn right you don't know. You don't know. No, I'm not saying I would have beat his ass, but I'm just telling you, he looked at me and goes, I think I'm going to pick on another dude. A guy that weighs like 125 and isn't jacked. Tonight's kit, by the way, Cerezo Osaka. Why we pulled it back. It's one of my favorites. It's pink. I don't know if you guys can tell. This is a pink kit. It's Barbie pink. It's from the J League, Japan. I love this one. It's one of my favorites. It's got tons of sponsors all over the place. It's got patches on the side. It's got everything that I want in a sharp sponsor. Everything that I want in a kit is on this. I love the more sponsors, the better. You guys know that. I want to talk about this film that I saw on Thursday night. I didn't bring it up then. I'm going to bring it up now because this is a crime that was committed in this movie, Jules. So if you're unfamiliar with this film, and I don't blame you for being unfamiliar with Jules, let's have some fun because this is going to get really good if these reviews. Oh, shit. You guys, we're going to make this fun. Jules is the new Bleecker Street movie. Yeah, that tells you everything you need. Bleecker Street. What's a good movie from that? Oh, that's right. They have one good film that I can remember. It's not Mass. Mass is a total bore. It is Leave No Trace. Speaking of homeless, watch Leave No Trace. With the young actress. What's her name? She's so good. She was in Last Night in Soho. She's great. Mackenzie. Okay, anyhow. Jules. Ben Kingsley is in this. Ben Kingsley plays essentially an octogenarian. Close enough. And he is all by himself, strained relationship with his daughter and his son. And he is starting to lose his faculties. So he lives in a small town in Pennsylvania. I can't believe I'm talking this much about this film. But I'm going to try to work through this. And I don't care if I spoil the movie at this point because the movie sucks. And I'm going to tell you why. The movie's fine for up to a while. And then a UFO crashes his backyard. Not in his imagination. It really crashes. And then the alien, here's what the alien looks like, okay? The alien is this alien here. The problem with the alien is the alien has no emotion. The alien just stares like this the whole time. The whole time. Okay? Now, so that there's no humor with that. And then Ben Kingsley, who, right, think about Ben Kingsley and what we've seen over the years with Ben Kingsley. Just go back to Iron Man 3. When we got the Mandalorian, before the Mandalorian got his cock cut off. Sorry, not the Mandalorian, what was it? Mandarin, my bad, guys. Sorry, I don't watch the Mandalorian. He got his cock cut off. Remember that? When all of a sudden the Mandarin is like this menacing bitch, and then all of a sudden they're like, hey, he's an actor. Like, what? Iron Man 3, one of the worst CBMs of all time. If you think that's good, holy shit, you need to check yourself. That's bad. So anyhow, he's too good an actor. Ben Kingsley, Iron Man 3. Ben freaking Kingsley. And of all the movies I'd love that I would like to talk about. But here he is. So let me tell you why the movie sucks. I didn't get it. So here's why it sucks. It's one of those films that thinks it's funny because it's quirky. Let me help you out. Quirky does not mean funny. Funny is funny. Quirky funny is funny, not just quirky. So it does weird things. Let me tell you what happens in the film. The alien can't get its ship back in the air because it's crashed, obviously, and it needs to be fueled by what looks like an oversized Tylenol pill, like one of those liquid gels. And in order to fill the liquid gel Tylenol energy pill, you have to have 6 dead cats that form the fuel. I'm not kidding. We need to find 6 dead cats to stick in the spaceship so that it has the fuel to leave. So Kingsley is there with the other actresses. One of them's famous. I don't remember which one. And they go around town looking for dead cats. Does this sound like an 85% tomato meter movie? It's not. Hold on, I got to read a couple reviews real quick, and then I'll move on. The script is as bad, not as bad as Beau is Afraid, but it's in the same neighborhood. Fine, Odie Henderson, I love you. While watching this film, I heard someone say "what the f" 3 times. 1 out of 4. Everybody right now forget the shill of the week. Our film critic of the week is Odie Henderson from the Boston Globe for nailing it, while these other people were about ready to hammer and savage and destroy. Missed it. Thank you, Odie. 1 out of 4. I'd give it 0.5 out of 4 because exactly that. You're getting dead cats and using them as fuel for the... This is embarrassing as a screenplay. Let's read a good one. Hold on, that's not good enough. Wait, that's fine. Okay, here's Randy Myers of the San Jose Mercury News. The cast is a delight, especially Kingsley. Well, of course, we just said Kingsley. No shit. Randy, you know that. You're saying nothing. Whose befuddled glances make your heart swell to the bursting point. You start to realize that this sci-fi laced parable on the alienation that so many mature adults experience today. Yes, all of that is accurate. The problem is, Randy, you have the alien that's no fun, and you have dead cats fueling the UFO. It's terrible. I'm not even going to read another one, and we're going to go back to Odie Henderson and say, Odie Henderson, you are the MMT film critic of the week. We'll do a good one and a bad one. So I'll add that next time for the thing. Okay, you guys ready? I got a few more minutes. I'm going to go any super chats, and then I'm going to go to the last. Here we go. I got one right here. Thank you for being a new member of the Thrifting Channel, Kai. Thank you. And also having a clear cassette of, yes, the see-through cassette of the Lost Boys on Atlantic Records and tapes. And CDs at that point. CDs were kind of new in 87. They cost a lot. Like a CD was like $17, which, by the way, back then was like $30, right? At least. It was expensive. Kingsley has been in a bunch of crap. Sexy Beast is a great call on that. Yep, Sexy Beast. But dead cats, Aaliyah. 6 dead cats. Who wrote this shit? AI would have created 100% Aaliyah. Jules reminds me of Robot and Frank. Well, I didn't even see Robot and Frank, but anything's better. So not finding dead cats, they had to kill one. That's correct. One of them had to die. I don't want to talk about the movie anymore, Leah. I'm getting vexed. I don't want to do it. Here we go. Here's your must-see. This is what makes MMT MMT. You guys ready for why this channel is better than every other channel? I'm about ready to spew some facts upon you on 2 films that came out at roughly the same time. And this is what the study is for you guys tonight. If you have seen these films or if you have not, you need to watch them back to back. And I'm going to tell you why these are the must-sees. Yesterday, Danny Boyle, right? It is the story of the young, can't write a song to save his life composer. That actor was so good in that film. And he all of a sudden takes advantage of the fact that the world forgot the Beatles. So now he starts singing Beatles songs, Hey Jude, and then he is this big star, everywhere. Everyone's like, my God, this guy's the most talented guy ever. All he's doing is ripping off the Beatles because no one in the world remembers the Beatles because they had a blackout. Just go along with it. Okay, next, Blinded by the Light. Story of a young kid, same kind of thing, same age-ish, that is growing up in England and falls in love with Bruce Springsteen music. And so he then uses the Bruce Springsteen music to influence his writing and to make himself a better person. So now here's why you want to watch both films. Even though they're not, on the nose the same. Here's why. Because if you watch Yesterday should be a worse film just based on concept and technically execution by anyone other than Danny Boyle. That film is going to be a train wreck disaster you don't ever want to watch. Yesterday. Conversely, Blinded by the Light is a film that should be light years stronger than Yesterday because the script is there. It's based on a true story. The difference between the 2 films, and this is why you need to watch both. Yesterday is directed by a maestro. Blinded by the Light is directed by a very marginally talented director. And when you watch the two films, this is why they came out about the same time, same idea. If you were to flip the directors and you gave Danny Boyle Blinded by the Light and you gave the director, a woman, doesn't matter, that's a woman, you gave her Yesterday would be unwatchable and Blinded by the Light would be an Oscars film. This is why direction matters, because you elevate the material. And Danny Boyle takes Yesterday from a film that should never work and makes it sing, because Danny Boyle is a god of a director. I think he's one of the most talented directors we do not talk enough about. I love the man. I think no one, I am more excited for a Danny Boyle movie than anything. The fact he's doing series pisses me off. I want him back in the director's chair of film. But that's the difference between these two films. Watch them both, and you're going to be like, yes, I get it. That's what we do here. That is what I want to continue doing here in MMT. Less than 5 minutes. We're going to go. Yeah, Sunshine's amazing. Kinema Dave. And the score by, who did the score? He also did the score for 28 Days Later. He's very good. He's the guy who used to be with Underworld, if I'm not mistaken, right? One of the Underworld guys. And he is very talented, needs to make, this is a great comment, Gone Girl. If you look at, and we've talked about this a little in the past, but tonight, as we mentioned yesterday, you look at Danny Boyle's range from horror to comedy to Slumdog Millionaire to trance, which we've made an M&T must-see in the past. He is, I think, the most versatile director out there. Millions is a film I adore. We're going to talk about that more. I'll use that for another must-see. But Danny Boyle, we need to stop disregarding this man and not talking about him in the same level of a Bong, of a Nolan, of a Fincher, the directors that are working today that are the top of the top. And Boyle is right there. Seen both. Love Blinded by the Light more. Yes, it's cheesy and formulaic, but it's executed so well. I don't agree. I think the direction is very average. I think it's not direction minus, but it's direction. Yesterday is direction plus plus. And if Blinded by the Light had direction plus plus in look, in feel, and edits, that film would beat the shit out of Yesterday. But as it is, for me, Yesterday's a better film because I always value strong direction, and you're not going to beat Danny Boyle. She has no shot at beating Danny Boyle. I'm not saying Blinded by the Light's bad. I'm saying that if you give the same film to Boyle, it is a 9.5 out of 10 as it is 8.5. That is a full 1.5 lower on my scale because the director doesn't have the talent. It's like going back to, if we haven't had this discussion, we're going to run out of time here. I'm going to talk about this longer, down the road. Go back and watch Promising Young Woman. Anyone who knows anything about film knows that the tone of that film is not handled well by Emerald Fennell. I'm looking forward to seeing Saltburn, her next film. She's going to have learned things. There are elements of Promising Young Woman that are very strong, that work. And then there's tone that does not, the clash. I think that as a first-time director, Emerald was not ready for that film. That's a very difficult film from a tonal perspective to pull off. Anytime you're trying to do dark comedy in drama and all, it's very difficult. You've got to have an extremely skilled director. Emerald was not ready for that film. It's a shame because it could have been great. It's okay. Promising Young Woman, one of the most overrated films of that year. It's still solid enough, but it could have been great, and it speaks to you being ready to go. Let me tell you something. When I started this channel a year and a half ago, I go back and watch the shows. I couldn't do the same show I do now. The key is you learn along the way. You do so many hours of the show that you start to just go, here's what I'm going to do. I know how to format this. I can pull up things. I can do comments as best I can by myself. You learn things. And as a director, same thing. You're going to do one film, you're going to learn a lot, and you're going to make mistakes, right? Jordan has that famous quote as saying, the more mistakes I made, that's why I succeed, because you learn. You hopefully learn from them. And I think Emerald will learn from some of the things she did with Promising Young Woman, and we'll see what happens with Saltburn. That's going to be a big move for Amazon. Amazon's got a very strong year this year. Multiple films in contention for the Oscars. As we get closer, we will get more into that. All right, we got less than 2 minutes. 2 minutes, and let's do Watch It, Sadvik. I will ban the shit out of you for that. I love Slumdog Millionaire. I adore that film. It's one of my favorite films of the past two decades, and now that we're in 2 decades, it's fantastic. Trainspotting, and we talk about this, not Trainspotting 2, Trainspotting 1. I didn't love Trainspotting 2 as much as 1, but I don't think it's terrible. For me, listen, I go back and talk about 28 weeks later being better than 28 days. for me, because it's bigger. The scope's bigger. I think it's handled very well. I love 28 Weeks Later. I can't wait for 28 years or months later. Months, right? Months is getting made or they're talking about it. Boyle. Can you imagine if Boyle comes back for 28 months later? Sunshine's unbelievable. It's such a methodical film, right? It is very purposeful in letting things breathe. And that is my kind of film. I love a slow meditation. I mean, listen, like people say Tars absolutely takes its time. I get it. I love that film. Okay. And that's one of the things we need more of. I don't want to watch a Blue Beetle. Okay. Yeah. Kinema listen, the show's better, but as long as anyone helps me, it's going to be better. Max Cohn, I totally disagree with you. Steve Jobs, we forget about Jobs. Great call. It was a fantastic film. It got completely screwed that award season. Yeah, 28 months later. I can't wait. All right, guys, that's the hour. The bandwidth is bong. It's gone. It's gone here. We've gone an hour. You guys are awesome. We're back here. Let me tell you what the schedule is here for this week. We are going to, oh, by the way, one thing I hope to get this week is the Maxine trailer. Maybe we get it. I would love to. We'll see. Let's look here. Here's what's coming up here this week. Let me see if I've got here it is. All right, so here's what I'd expect from MMT this week. Thursday night, as always. If I see Strays early, which I believe I will, there'll be another tight, like 2.5, 3 minute reaction out of theater that I'll post on the channel. Been doing that. I think it's easier. Just makes it simple. And then we can talk more about Strays on Thursday, kind of like first reaction. And then we have the evaluation on Thursday. Blue Beetle more than likely will be Thursday night as well. So we'll likely have 2 evaluations. Blue Beetle and Strays on Thursday. Out of theater reaction for Strays Wednesday. Anything else that happens, I'll post a short something this week. I don't anticipate much. We're in August, guys. I mean, we're getting down to kids back in school, studios saying we're good. I mean, Gran Turismo, I already saw. It's coming out here in a few weeks. So I feel like I've already covered that film. Go watch those streams. Let me say this. I really like... There's some stuff I do that I think sucks. I'm not going to lie, like most of it. But the evaluation of Gran Turismo is tight. It's 5 minutes. It's good. It's good. I would venture to say that if I nail it, and that doesn't happen often, then my 5-minute videos will destroy Stuckman. I mean, Stuckman, he posts a video. The guy gets like 200,000 views, and I watch it, and I go... It actually drives me. I've talked about that before, guys, is in life, if you see someone that you want competition, I'm like, I get Stuckman's and doing it forever. I'm just telling you, he is as boring as anything I've ever watched in my life. And he's not edgy enough to be interesting. And I don't think he's strong enough in the evaluation. Because he's afraid to pull punches. He's going to pull a punch, and when we do what we do, you can't. You have to throw the haymaker. And when that time comes, Bo is afraid. You've got to deck the film. Babylon, Scream 6, Cocaine Bear. You have to detonate it. And because he's now going to be a director, he can't do that anymore. It is frustrating. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to get off the stream. It's frustrating because I believe that not all the time, but at times, we destroy those guys. And yet we don't have the views. It's fine. I told you guys, honestly, I mean this. I don't really care because ultimately I like doing the show. And as long as you guys are excited for it and have fun with it, that's all that matters. That said, when you watch the competition and you go, are you kidding me? Someone sent me these 2 guys that started talking about a movie. I was put to sleep in the first 10 seconds and it didn't get better. And I'm sitting here going, this channel destroys this shit. What's going on? I don't know. Whatever. It's for another time. It's always fun, though. It's a pleasure, as always. Live from the City of Angels. The schedule I just listed for you, so you're ready to go for this week. Otherwise, I'll see you back here on Thursday, live from Los Angeles, as we get ready for a few weeks of nothing great, but we'll make it entertaining here. Midnight Movie Talk is out. I'll see you Thursday. Peace, y'all. Good.